This discussion is dedicated to you, the beneficiaries of Social Security, with a specific focus on those receiving Supplemental Security Income, or SSI. To be clear from the start, everything I am about to cover regarding the Annual Cost of Living Adjustment, or COLA, pertains to all individuals who receive benefits from the Social Security Administration. This includes those on retirement, SSDI, survivors, and spousal benefits, as well as VA and railroad retirement beneficiaries. While the principles apply universally across these programs, the specific dollar amounts and detailed calculations I will be sharing are tailored to SSI recipients. To bring everyone up to speed, a few days ago, I released a video discussing the most recent inflation data and what it suggests for the upcoming COLA raise. In that video, I used some general, round dollar examples to illustrate the potential increase. As a result, I received several questions from viewers specifically asking, "That sounds great, but what does this mean for SSI?" While SSI benefits are indeed included in the annual COLA, I didn't break down the exact figures for that program. So, instead of a separate pre-recorded video, I wanted to address your questions directly and in detail right now. Let's begin with the numbers, but I must emphasize a crucial point before we proceed. The figures I am about to share are preliminary projections and forecasts based on the data we have right now. This is all subject to change, and frankly, I fully expect it to change. As I mentioned in a video just yesterday, several global situations unfolding as we speak are likely to impact consumer pricing here at home. The implementation of new tariffs and the resulting price adjustments on goods are already beginning to take effect. When you combine this with spiking oil prices, it creates a recipe for higher inflation. This means the numbers we see on store shelves will likely rise in the coming days, weeks, and months. So, if you look at these initial projections and feel disappointed or frustrated, please know that I am right there with you. However, I also anticipate that these COLA projections will increase, perhaps significantly, from where they currently stand. I will continue to monitor all the data and keep you posted as the situation evolves. With that said, let's dive into the calculations. The most recent inflation data, released this past Wednesday, showed a slight uptick in the specific inflation metrics that the Social Security Administration uses to calculate the COLA. The projection has now risen by 0.1%, up to 2.5%. I understand that a 2.5% raise can feel pathetic and unfair, especially when the cost of living feels much higher. It's the same percentage raise that was applied to benefits this year, down from the 3.2% we received last year. But for now, this is the official projection we have to work with. Let's apply this 2.5% figure to the current SSI benefit amounts. As you know, the maximum federal benefit for an individual receiving SSI is currently $967 per month. Applying a 2.5% COLA to this amount would result in an increase of approximately $24 per month. This would take the maximum monthly benefit for an individual from $967 up to $991. It's frustratingly close to that $1,000 threshold. Just another $9 would provide a significant psychological boost, finally pushing the benefit into four-digit territory. Annually, this $24 monthly raise would translate to an extra $288 over the course of the year. Now, let's look at the calculation for a married couple where both partners receive SSI. The current maximum monthly benefit for an eligible couple is $1,450. Applying the same potential 2.5% COLA to this amount would increase their monthly benefit by $36. This would raise their maximum payment from $1,450 per month up to $1,486. Again, these calculations are based on beneficiaries receiving the maximum amount. If your benefit is lower, your raise would be adjusted accordingly. It's important to understand the dual nature of a rising COLA. On one hand, yes, the higher the COLA, the more money you receive in your monthly benefit. That is undeniably true. However, on the other hand, a high COLA is a direct reflection of high inflation, which means the purchasing power of your money has significantly decreased. Let me give you a simple example to illustrate this concept, which is known as the depletion of purchasing power. Imagine it's early 2020, before the recent period of intense inflation. You go to the grocery store with a $100 bill and buy a full basket of groceries. Now, fast forward to today. If you were to go to the store and buy that exact same basket of groceries, it would no longer cost you $100. It would likely cost you $125 or even $130. That is the erosion of purchasing power in action. While we call it inflation, what is truly happening is the devaluing of the dollar, largely because an excessive supply of money has been printed and circulated, making each individual dollar worth less. So, this presents a paradox for beneficiaries. What would you rather have, a high COLA accompanied by a weak dollar that buys you less, or a very low COLA with a strong dollar that maintains its value? Over the long term, having a stable, strong dollar is actually more advantageous than receiving a large COLA. A big COLA is simply an admission that your money has already lost a significant amount of its value. For those of you who wish to calculate your own potential raise, the math is quite simple. Take your current monthly benefit amount and multiply it by 1.025. The 0.025 represents the 2.5% increase. If the COLA projection were to rise to, say, 3%, you would multiply your benefit by 1.03. It's an easy way to get a personalized estimate of what your future benefit might be. To recap the key takeaways from today's discussion, based on the current preliminary forecast of a 2.5% COLA, the maximum SSI benefit for an individual would increase by $24 per month, from $967 to $991. For a married couple, the maximum benefit would increase by $36 per month, from $1,450 to $1,486. Please remember, these are early projections and are very likely to change as we get more inflation data in the coming months. I will continue to keep you informed every step of the way.